And we're live. Hi, everyone. Happy early Halloween, and welcome to our winners announcement live stream. We're here. We're finally here. So just in case, you randomly stumbled across this video and need to be brought up to speed, over the course of October, we have challenged our users, the filmmaker community, to take part in our Halloween special. We have challenged you guys to do a 1-minute short film using assets from Artlist. And the challenge of waking up, starting your video with a wake up and ending with a cut to black. Awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. There's been a lot of entries.
So many
to go through. So many, in fact, that we needed to call upon some amazing people with loads of experience to help us do the judging. Who did we get, Tom?
Well, okay, let's start off with the returning judges from last year's competition. The directors of 18 short horror films across the internet. These guys know their stuff. Ben Franklin and Anthony Melton of Bloody Cuts. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, well, we absolutely loved last year's entries, and having seen everything this year, I can't wait to see how everybody responds to them. So, yeah, thank you for having us again.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's absolutely awesome. Yeah, we're glad to have you back. And like you guys were saying, the quality of the entries this year, they were brilliant last year, but there's been some absolutely amazing entries this year. So super excited to hear your feedback on them, because I'm sure all the people that made them are going to be here in the comments wanting to know how they can get even better.
And let's bring out, because we've still got 2 more judges as well. So we have writer, director, you guys know him from Film Riot, Ryan Conley. Hi, Ryan.
How's it going?
Yeah, how are you?
Ryan, it's been too long.
I know. I would love to say that I did this very blue color on my skin on purpose for Halloween, but I didn't. I just can't get this webcam to work right.
You're a professional. You can't be saying this kind of thing, Ryan. You're here to advise.
It's a webcam. I don't know. And it's on a Windows machine.
You've got a whole crew. It's a red camera.
I just need Josh to come in and tweak something. I'm sure. I have no idea what
the other Josh, not this one.
The other Josh, my other Josh. I'm just going full Smurf. That's what it is. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
And and our final judge as well is actor, comedian, director, screenwriter, the hilarious Peter Sorofidowicz.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. It's my pleasure, and I'm honored and flattered to have judged this. And I was really impressed with the top. It turned out to be was it a top 11 in the end?
Yes.
The awkward top 11. We don't do things normally here.
No.
The classic top 11. But yes, anyway, so I'm looking forward to this. I've decided I'm going to be the mean Simon Cowell kind of judge. I'm going to be horrible.
I'll be your Paula Abdul. It'll be great.
Okay, be prepared for Peter to be cut off halfway
through. Muted.
No, thank you so much, Peter. I was talking to Peter the other day, who's often, been an amazing supporter of, what we do with Hit Film and the community and everything. And I was telling him about the competition the other day, and he was kind enough to say that he would come and judge it as well. So thank you to all of our judges for taking the time actually to jump on this and also give your experience, because I know the people watching, they love to hear from these guys who make amazing videos, and they've got some entries to the competition for us all to watch later on as well. But hearing from people that actually, make horror movies all the time and have been responsible for so much great, Ryan, with all the content that he puts out there, he's probably taught more people about filmmaking than anyone else on the internet. And then Peter, with all of your experience being even in horror movies that we've all seen, there's a lot of experience out there that our users are going to really absolutely love.
Absolutely. And with over $10,000 worth of prizes up for grabs as well. I mean, we needed all the help that we can get. And
these guys only went through 11 entries, but how many were there total? Because people have been asking about.
People have been asking. We got over 336 entries.
Congrats.
An insane amount to filter through. And
can I just ask?
Down.
Yeah. I'm not sure about what the prizes are. What are
okay, Peter, we'll save them for later. No, I've
just asked you now.
He's doing the role already.
Damn it.
No, I'm not doing that yet.
Well, yeah, we have some huge prizes to give away. We will get down to it, but we have some missions to go through first. So once we get to those top 3, we'll remind people what's up for grabs.
But it was over $10,000 worth of stuff.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, so that we get some form of answer.
And a cash prize as well. Yes. So, lovely.
Hey,
But
Brett,
with
what did we not as submit? I mean,
you guys can't win.
Okay.
The same way that these guys can't win. But also, we did have some amazing entries. So,
they're so definitely. I don't think we could have beaten. There's some amazing stuff to watch. So, I look forward to seeing it.
And let's
Jump right into it.
Yeah, let's jump into
we
it.
start with number 11?
Start with number.
Or do we
we actually only have 10 for tonight.
Okay.
Including the 3.
Including the 3. So we have 10 tonight. We'll be going through. So let's jump into our first one. Guys.
Nice.
So, and that's number 10. Like, I love the twist end of this one.
I wasn't expecting it.
No.
I'm terrible with horror movies. I'm scared of everything. So I was petrified the whole way through. On second view, I was like, it was a bold move shooting in a tiled, shiny area as well. That was, the lights were always going to be a problem there. But I thought they've packed in so much in a minute. The
end effect is quite subtle as well. It's not like over the top. It's kind of, you can see it, but you can see it happening, but it's still creepy enough that it's effective.
What about you guys? Yeah. What did you think of this one?
Well, I if I could go first, I thought that was really impressive, and I thought the camera work was great, and the I suppose if I was going to give some constructive criticism, it would be that my criticism would be that it needed to be a bit snappier, and because I felt like the edit made it just feel a little sluggish at times. But it was but the cinematography was great, and I'd love to know how they what they used to shoot it. Do you know?
We have, unless they're in the comments.
Unless they're in the comments. If you're in the comments, Sebastian, then please do reach out and answer Peter's question, because we would also love to know what you shot on.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that wasn't a particularly Simon Cowell-esque answer.
That wasn't.
No. I'm not really going to do that.
No.
That'd just be boring. But yes, I just I don't know. It's I thought I'm just interested to know more about these people, because I just had a list of names, and it's quite fascinating what to me, like how they made this. It's pretty impressive. If they're entering a competition, you sort of think they're not using they don't have thousands of dollars worth of stuff, you presume that. Yeah. Oh, hey.
Hey.
Wow. He made it by himself with a crew of 1. Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice. Well done, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
was going to ask.
Ben and I both thought that the sort of the visuals are amazing. I think certainly the opening shots set a really sort of, I guess, sort of deep, horrific tone to the film. I think certainly sort of the end and the start were the sort of best visual representation. The stuff in the middle, and I think the bits and bobs in the corridor maybe dragged it down a bit, but I think that's probably because of the how strong the beginning and the end were. I agree with something that I didn't catch who said it, but I think that certainly in terms of the vampire effects, if they are indeed vampire effects at the end, were subtly done, and it's often the case that those are overdone. I'm sure we've overdone that, Ben, in the past. I'm sure, but I thought that the subtlety was interesting. Yeah, I was very impressed. First one we watched them was it's like this is if this is the sort of standard we're going to be presented with, then we're in for a good show. So awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just on that. I'm always really impressed when a piece of work can change the perception of an audience. So you go into a short film and there's an expectation through the visuals that they're showing you that something is going to happen or something has happened. And obviously in a very short amount of time, they kind of twisted the expectation on who was the killer, who's the victim and stuff. And I thought that was really clever. Yeah. And one thing I think that a lot of these short films have done, which I really liked, is that they've not tried to use dialogue, because dialogue really can slow things down. And they've managed to tell a lot of stories through the use of visuals. And this is obviously a story told entirely through visuals. And to get the story across that they're trying to tell without any characters having to say anything to one another is always a really strong piece of filmmaking from my perspective.
That's a really good point, actually.
I think it was really smart how they constructed it as well. I'm a big fan of starting with letting the audience know what position your character that you're following, or we thought we were following, is in, and then we lead to the hands, and then she looks up, and they did a really good job at giving a sense of geography, because within a piece like this, especially that short amount of time, there's no way I'm really going to care if I don't know where anybody is. I'm just confused and lost in the space. But they very simply set up where everyone was. He was upstairs with the other, and it was a really nice escalation of things unfolding. And she's captured. The killer is upstairs. He's already killed someone else. That's clearly what's about to happen. So there was so much information. It was so well thought out how quickly they were informing us of so many things. Including where everyone was within this space. So just from a direction standpoint, I thought that was really well done. I think the one critique I would have is, once the fangs came out, I couldn't help but immediately say, well, why was, something over her mouth stopping her? So if there was some kind of small nod to that, I don't know. The bad version is there's a imprint of a cross on the thing, and because that comes off is when she's, what I mean? Like, what was that device that you could have had that was information simply put like everything else was, that would have told us, okay, now that this restriction has come off, she's able to bring the fangs out. Because I that's the one issue I had, is I didn't understand why now, why not before. Sure. So that was the one thing. If that hook could have had on there, I think it really would have landed hard for me.
Nice. Amazing feedback from everybody. I noticed that our camera's over here and we're all looking at you guys. Yeah. We're captivated by what you're saying. So it's this really weird stream where we're all just facing off to one side. But we're not saying that our cinematography is great. We're saying the cinematography in that shot was great. So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. Okay. So next one. Here we go. We had some very Sixth Sense vibes going on in that one. What did you think of that? Ryan, you ended last time, so I'm going to let you start this time around.
I really liked it. I thought it had a really nice pace. I really liked the camera work. You know, those sorts of pans, I'm definitely a sucker for. You know, a lot of the moments I was like, I wonder how exactly they pulled off, you know, everything, fling it open. I'm sure it was a composite of some kind. But whenever you got me thinking that's a big plus. So I really like the unfolding of it. For critiques, I would say, you know, sound design was a bit of an issue for me. Not the sounds that were chosen, but it felt like we were at a 10 the entire time. And so when you're always at a 10, you can never then fluctuate to that 10. So, you know, it's a matter of riding that, you know, knob, not literally, but, you know, taking that peaks and valleys, bringing us down where we look at. So then when you do slam into that moment, it is a gut punch for the audience. Otherwise, if you're constantly screaming at them, then you're just constantly screaming at them. So I would say that it needed a little more hills and valleys audibly, and that would have done a massive amount. The only other note I had from watching it this time around was a bit of a bit of the logic to the imprints on the wall and the floor. I couldn't in my mind picture what this ghost was or doing with the hands and then you know what I mean? So I think that could be a very easy fix of take the hand imprints off the wall and instead maybe it has something in its hand that it's dragging along the wall and that's what's appearing. Just thinking logically, what is it exactly that's coming out our character that we can't see? Kind of like what the original one did. It laid out so much information in such a simple way. That would be a very simple way to paint a picture for us without showing us anything. Just having in your mind the logic of what you're seeing that we're not seeing that the VFX could have clued us in on. But overall, I thought it was really, really well done and effective.
I mean, I totally agree with all of that, really. I think that what set the tone is the you know, fantastic use of the practical effects of the doors flying over, etc., etc. That's always the thing that will catch me. Anything that practical works. I think the VFX of the handprints were great, but I agree they were contradictory to the sort of I guess realism of the previous stuff. So therefore, it made it kind of a little bit undecided about what we were seeing there. However, I did think that the VFX was fantastic for a 1 minute low budget feature. So hats off for that. But sure. Yeah, I think that was my major sort of note too. But I did really any sort of poltergeist activity in the film, I'm a fool for. So yeah, it was great.
Something that you don't see that often either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I really liked this one because it felt like a kind of an Evil Dead poltergeist kind of mashup.
Yeah,
I really appreciate that kind of single take scene in the kitchen with everything flying open and, you know, probably lots of invisible strings and stuff like that, which I thought was really, really well done. I think my only criticism really would be as much as I enjoyed the VFX, I thought perhaps we dwelled on those a little bit too long, to the point where you start to recognize that they're visual effects. Although the tracking on those were really good. And then I think just from a story perspective, I wasn't entirely clear what we were seeing and why. And it felt like I picked up a great scary scene within a horror film halfway through, but without perhaps the context as to why everything was happening. And I appreciate it's really hard to tell in 1 minute, but, you know, a bit of context to what we were seeing might have increased that scare and made us understand, you know, what were these footprints and these handprints and stuff, and why was this happening at this point.
Sure.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Peter, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that I really liked it. I loved how it was shot. I loved that it was like in 4:3 as well, and I loved how it was lit. It looked gorgeous. I loved this. I watched it with my kids. It was the most impressive effect of any of the finalists that we watched together. They were like, how did they do that? Of course, all of us in the magic circle know how we do that. But my thing with I just didn't really. I thought the handprint was a good effect. My thing was that they seemed like big, and then at the end it was like a little baby kind of laughing, and I don't know. It was I get why you kind of kept it all in, but you're clearly a brilliant filmmaker. So that's what I thought.
Awesome.
That is a really good point, and interesting that I think we all clued in on it, that it didn't seem like, I mean, I loved it. I thought it was great, but it didn't seem like there was a very, very clear understanding of the story behind the story they were telling. And I think even when you don't tell us, if you know, that guides everything you do, and that does let the audience clue in on quite a bit. Sounds like we kind of all felt that vibe.
I think so. Yeah.
And I'm going to have to be that guy and make sure that we keep on time, because I know some of you guys have somewhere to be at 9 o'clock. So we're going to have to move on to the next one and keep the pace going, because there's still
several.
And then we got loads to get through, and we don't want to be keeping people from their other appointments. So let's get going.
Cool. Number 8. That was from Ben Leonberg. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely won't be able to get my dog to act like that.
Yeah, the dog was amazing. Yes.
That is an amazing feat. I think editing, directing, animal wrangling, there's some fantastic story in that as well. I think it's one of the interesting aspects of telling a 1-minute story is how you do it quickly, and I think that was a 60-minute film that felt 60-second film that felt long because of the tension. I sort of take again, sort of doff my hat. I was really impressed with what the filmmaker did there in terms of very minimal assets, and it's I think probably definitely one of the most interesting tones, I think, and certainly sort of tensions with films we've seen. So I applaud it, aplomb, if that's correctly phrased.
Yeah, I'd say there's 2 things I thought I really liked about this. Firstly, I thought the sound design was great, and going back to what Ryan said about the last short film, is that this one played with silence and subtle sound design, particularly with the dog and stuff, kind of informing us that there was creepy stuff going on. And the second thing I really liked was seeing the eyes on top of the roof. I thought that was a really nice and unique scare. And obviously, when you can do something that's not expected when you're an audience watching a film, to expect to see over the shoulders or wherever we might, we know through cliche and tropes of horror, but to put it above him, I thought was super creepy. And then we know then that monster is much more unpredictable than your typical monster, and what that might do is adds a lot more tension to that scene.
Yeah.
I really love this one, but before we move on to the next one, the thing that I didn't love so much was the hands at the end, because all the way through it had actually been really, really, really scary, but the hands, just the movement of the hands didn't really quite, follow through with the scariness of the rest of it to me. But overall, I thought, it just looked pretty amazing. And it's another good one to go with all the others. So we're going to have to move on. We're going to have to get the next one done.
Jumping. This one scared me.
It was very realistically lit, this one. I would say the most sort of documentary style. It's hard to light something realistically that looks like nighttime in your bedroom. It was really well done.
Mm.
I was going to throw the question
What did you think about this one, Ryan? Because it made me uncomfortable.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really well done. It toys with the concept that I'm pitching with some writers right now, so I'm like, damn. But happens all the time. It's fine. The one thing I would say that it took me a minute to register what was happening that you can only see in the reflection. And I think the reason for that was the way that the camera panned from the music box to the window, the geography felt off. It felt as though they did move the camera to get the second shot. So I didn't feel the sense of the character actually looking from one point to the other. It felt disjointed. So then I didn't know where in the room that was, where I think if it was planned out to be a very short move, to where maybe even the mirror is just to the side of the frame when we're looking at the box. And so you can connect those two things to really nail it. And I think we could have maybe held on the mirror just for a second longer to let me click into what's happening and then move to the rest. I think that would have then carried on to everything else to really let the scares handle. But because of that, I was a little behind on, wait, okay, so what happened there? Was that her? Because it also looked very much like her. So that was a touch confusing for me. So if that was just tightened up, I think everything would have, landed at a 10. But just like all my notes, this is nitpicking. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, no,
I agree.
The way it looked, I was like, yeah, I've never been able to make anything, as we famously know from a previous video I've done, anything look properly good at night.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it really did look quite natural as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was just lacking, as Ryan said, sense of geography. Maybe like one really nice wide shot to give us a sense of what that room looked like, placement of mirrors, that kind of thing. And but I loved the scare with the music box and then seeing the reflection stuff. That was fantastic.
Cool. Next one. Right. Let's do it.
Can I help you? No candy.
You said you had no treats. So, trick?
I love the ambition of a one take.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very difficult to do, and I think the filmmakers certainly made that work within the context of 1 minute. I think there's certainly with the one take, certainly what always is commendable is the reveal. I thought the reveal of the skull face girl was awesome. The first one was absolutely awesome. So
okay, yeah, I didn't realize it was one take. I've only just twigged now. Sorry, I'm slow. Yeah, that was really cool.
It's always a good sign when you don't realize it's one take. And
yeah.
You're like, wait a minute, has it cut yet? Like that's my one problem was when it went to the door and it turned around to her. She was already looking in the kitchen, so I felt as though I left her perspective. I was no longer with her; she was ahead of me. So that's the one tweak I would have made to the move. To when we turn with her, we get to see her look and realize that little things, that adds so much more. It's such a small thing, but it does a lot.
Yeah, I love this one a lot. I think that if I was to critique it, there was a couple of points where I think the camera operator found it difficult to find focus, and I think there's one point halfway through, about 20 seconds, where there's the candy drawer, and it's not clear that that's the candy drawer. I think when the reveal happens at the end that she was hiding the candy, if that had been made more obvious, a really blatant like big box or I don't know, it's just something to kind of illustrate that
like a little insert cut of it's a chance to have a little make up your own brand of candy or whatever. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big box of that she was hoarding. If that had been kind of in there, then it would have been really obvious that she was kind of selfishly keeping back this candy from the trick or treaters. But I love that, as Anthony said, the reveal of the skull-faced woman was super, and then the final shot, and just kind of trying to do a one-take horror in a minute was really like commendable, and I think like 99% there really.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like the voice of the Skullgirl as well. I thought that was really well done. For there was a moment of like with the candy wrapper, little moments of sound that didn't quite glue themselves into the world, into the scene. I couldn't tell if it was one of those issues. Sometimes people will put in sound effects that are stereo, but when you are shooting with a shotgun mic, you're shooting mono. So those things feel very separate from each other. So sometimes it's just as simple as taking a stereo sound effect and shifting it to mono, and it glues much better into the world. So I don't know if that's what the issue was, but there were little bits and bobs there that didn't quite glue.
This
great.
Is
this is amazing feedback.
We're about halfway through now, and I'm just going to say, not only I feel like we're so lucky to have all of these entries because people have done an amazing job, but with these judges as well. I mean, I wish this could be a 3-hour long show so that you guys could actually, because we've already seen the comments coming in. People are really appreciating this, guys. So thank you so much for all of your, really insightful comments. I've watched all the same videos as you, but I feel like I haven't because you have so many more clever things to say about them. I feel like an idiot. So let's get on to the next one.
So many mental moments.
Great.
I love this for that. I'm my favorite
one.
A sucker for craziness, and I think that this film was full of that. And I think that it was really actually quite technical too. And I think there was some wonderful horror beats, but also I just think attention to mentalness. I loved it. I just sort of when I'm taken out of the expectation of what I'm about to watch, I'm really sort of excited by that. And I think that's my point of view because I'm weird, but I loved it. So it's top marks from me.
Oh, and this was your favorite, was it, Peter? You were saying?
Yeah, definitely. It was my favorite. Every time I watch it, there's something new that I notice, and I love, first of all, how it starts off with the drawings in the notebook, and I love that. And you're trying to work out what it is. It's really cool. The kid is a really good actor as well. He's like, you're just watching him, and this surprising thing that happens, and then with the hand and like, it was cool, and I think my new favorite villain is 5 past 6 face. That's honestly, that is right up my street. Totally love that. It's amazing.
I think we need to go on to the next one.
Yeah. And that is now his name.
Hey! Trick or treat! Hey, boy! The hell's that?
Ooh. So, Ryan, I know that this was a personal favorite of yours.
Yeah, I really like this. I mean, critique-wise, I would say that my main issue was the run didn't quite land. There were times that it did. It's like, that's a difficult. How do you get that? Did you have a treadmill? Maybe that could. I love the void. That Stranger Things, Get Out, Under the Skin sort of void. But what I really loved about it, and a few of the other ones, is I love something that if 1 minute you can tell me a thematic story and get me thinking thematically in just 1 minute's time. And so now I'm thinking about the guilt that he's been driven into and the guilt that he can't escape from. And I'm thinking about these extra notes that it's very hard to do in 2 hours, let alone 1 minute. And so there were a lot of aspects to this emotionally that rang a lot of bells. And that, I think, interested me and fascinated. It had me connected to it more, that it had something to say, and in just 60 seconds, like that's pretty badass to be able to pull off.
Yeah,
for sure.
I agree. Very impressive.
Well, everyone loved that one. Which, I mean, they should do, because the top 3 are coming up next
now.
The winners.
Yeah. So,
do we need to say what people are winning, Tom?
Well, we do, but we have a small announcement for those 7 that we've just reviewed. So we were blown away by how many submissions that we actually got, that we kind of thought, well, let's extend the prize pool just a little bit further. Everyone that we've just shown today will be receiving a copy of HitFilm Pro. So you can continue making some amazing work, and we want to see more from you. We want you guys to be able to create as many cool things as possible. So this, for you, free. Woohoo!
Awesome.
Congratulations. So
that's great.
Let's go into our top 3 then.
Okay.
So 3rd place will be receiving $1,000, a subscription to ArtGrid, Artlist, and the complete HitFilm suite. So that's HitFilm Pro, Emerge Pro, and Ignite Pro. It's a huge cash prize. Well, huge prize pool.
Yeah.
I'm
Who gets it though?
Who gets it?
Who gets it? So before we get into the feedback, I just want to point out that came from Austin Minion, who was 16.
16.
Oh my goodness!
Brilliant.
Well
Love that. Love that.
Wow.
That was. I think that was my joint favorite. Well, it was the one that made me laugh the most. It was brilliant. I loved it. Loved it.
That's really impressive. Like 16, because I mean, you're looking at stop motion Legos, but if you look at the ideas and the construction of how he pulled that off.
Yeah.
That switch to the color change with the hit, just even the scene construction and how he laid it all out, and even its pacing, like that's well beyond his years. Like that's crazy impressive.
That's well beyond me.
Yeah.
I would just like to. I think for me, it was like I enjoyed it more than like bits of the Lego movies, right? Because it was like. I really thought that was that was really super special. I love those. I love Lego animation. My favorite is the cutscenes in the Lego games, which I've done quite a few of those now. Like I've voiced some characters in them, but I was playing them long before I voiced them. And the writing and the animation is always has always been like really top notch. And this dude is like, I mean, he's doing stuff on his own it's way above, like, I don't know, just it's really super special. It's great, really well done.
And he's in the chat right now.
He's in the chat right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's hearing all
I
of
think
this.
well, as horror filmmakers, I'd say that one of the things that Ben and I discussed was like this is full of the tropes. The tropes done really well in 1 minute and done really, really well. So it's very difficult to sort of deliver that level of expertise with anything. But when you've got 1 minute and Lego and single shot frames to do it so well, it's tremendous. I think it's a very special thing to watch. Congratulations for delivering it for us to watch too. It's a great piece of work.
Yeah, I just loved all of the little changes of facial animation and stuff. Every time, like, we knew what that character was feeling just through a very simple head change of in that stop motion and stuff, and that was really fun. And as Ryan said, just like the very simple changes in setup, kind of it told us a story without really needing to tell us kind of too much more than just what we were seeing within there. It was a very neat little 1 minute piece, which it was like the dark Lego movie. It was like the alternative Paragon universe Lego movie. Yeah. I loved that, and as Peter said, it was totally on par with anything we'd expect from that studios. Only very minor criticism, if I was to criticize anything, was just that maybe some slightly better mic recording just for the voice, because the voice work was really strong, but it perhaps just wasn't clean enough. But that was without being patronizing. For 16 years old, I mean, I would have. Yeah, I was still playing with Lego. I mean, I still play with Lego now. I can do that. So
yeah, the visual language was really well done. I mean, when you're building up to escalate to a moment, to get the audience feeling how you want to feel. There's a very specific inserts and shots and the way you use sound within those shots to guide them, and it was all there. Like there was a craftsmanship there that I'm really impressed by.
And Austin, congratulations for coming in. Well done.
Reach out to us as well. We'd like to do like an article on how you did that, so that we can tell everyone on the community, your process, if you don't mind sharing it with us. So we'll chat about that. But we need to move on to the next one. We've got about 10 minutes left. We've got 2 to go, and these guys want to show you theirs as well. So let's keep going.
Okay, so second place will be receiving, as well as the Art Grid, Art List subscriptions, and the Hit Film Pro Suite, a cash prize of $2,500.
So much stuff.
So much. This is from Benedict Mayer.
Mom? Mom?
That ending.
Yeah. I really dug that one. I think the way it was constructed was extremely well. I love the, when he's walking and we go into the corn stalks, and that very simply tells us danger this way. But I know it's not a killer looking at him because of the language of how he's using the camera, but I know where the danger lies. And that gets me interested of, okay, something's coming that direction. And then the reveal to the red ribbon. And then I was just in it, like, where are we going here? And then when it got to the point it got to, it was no disappointment. It's messed up. Yeah. And I even loved the grade to it. It wasn't trying to lean into this typical horror grade. It was, that could be a rom-com sort of grade. And for me, that landed it in a much more interesting place for that moment. And I love that they didn't feel the need to go heavy-handed with any music. They just let the whole moment play, which I think we all know sometimes could be a bit scary to do. So I think that was a brave choice, and it worked really, really well for it. And I'm glad they cut to black for the gunshot. However, that is my one critique. The gunshot sound wasn't the best, and I wish it happened on that cut to black. It felt like the timing was a smidge off.
Yeah,
But
agree.
overall, I thought it was, man, really well done.
I think it's sort of definitely the one thing that stopped this for me being the 100% winner, because it was just otherwise fantastically put together. I think that for me, and going through many terrible meetings in Hollywood, is that like its simple idea is always king, and I think this film had a simple idea that was delivered really well, and this is the kind of film that will get made into a feature on a simple premise. It is the idea that like we have captured a kind of idea within 1 minute, and we're all going to understand and think about that when not much happened, probably less than happened in anything else, but it's something that will probably fill us with memory and for a lot longer, I guess.
It kind of felt like a PG-13 version of like a Saw franchise kind of movie. I agree with everything that's been said. I love the use of color, but not just the gray, but the use of color throughout. Like even like the wardrobe used on the boy was matched the Halloween thing. So everything about it was really well considered. And as Ryan said, just like the overall look, I mean, what an amazing setting as well. And just the use of that ribbon, it's kind of like the magic trick of kind of like, pulling the ribbon out of the hat kind of thing, or out of the sleeve, and just kind of seeing where's that going to go. And obviously this doesn't end in a good place, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
it was so beautiful, that one. I mean, like I found it probably by far the most shocking out of all of the videos. But like, it's again, we're just getting the comments here, guys, for the judges that maybe are commenting rather than reading, that people are saying this, best day of their lives. Again, it's because you guys are here and you're able to give them these amazing insights. So
one note, I might be wrong on this, but I think the gun might have been a BB gun based on the barrel. If that was the case, that's a real simple, because that was locked out. That's a real simple fix in post.
That's a subversive twist right there.
He's got a BB gun.
That throws us all off, doesn't it? So
the job will get done.
We're all fooled.
Well, we are now at the final one, guys. Our number one submission and winner of the Art Grid Art List subscriptions hit film suite and $5,000.
That's what we're going to do next year, guys.
Well, yeah, how are we going to top this? Well, let's play our number one. That was from Vessi, aged 23. Crazy. Absolutely insane.
It's just completely next level. Just I don't know. I didn't really know what to say, really. I mean, I thought that I loved that. So who's this? Who's made this?
This was from all we have is Vessi, and age 23 from Malaysia.
Vessi from Malaysia. Wow. Okay, well, whoever that is, wow. I mean, just congratulations. I thought I spotted a reference to Hyperlight Drifter, the video game Hyperlight Drifter, which is one of my favorite things. I hope it was, because like. It sort of reminded me a little bit of that, bit of Dark Souls as well. Just like technically, I loved, and also there is I think Ben, you made the point about these films tending not to use dialogue and using it sparingly, and this one does, and in just a really cool way. Lots of repetition and little short. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, man. And I think this is a perfect example of, in my opinion, what I was talking about before, that what was this about? I'm not sure. And that's kind of what I love about it. Like, it just feels layered, but it feels like she knows exactly what it's about. That's the difference. Like, I feel like she understood exactly the thing she was making. All the layers are in her mind. She knows what she's telling. She knows what her metaphor is, what thematic she's trying to hit on. And although I might not be grappling on it, it gets me thinking, like, well, what did this mean? And that's my favorite type of film that, you know, I want to watch it again because I'm like, well, what did that mean? What did that mean? And it was just gorgeous, so well done, and feels, you know, it feels pretty feature ready to me. Like, you give this person some money. I just really loved it.
Yeah. I mean, this it's a film of layers, completely. And I, you know, again, it's 1 minute, but you know, we could watch it, as you say, like 10 times over and find more things within the 1 minute. I think it's when Ben and I started doing what we were doing probably 10 years ago. It's so incredibly crazy to see what people are doing now. Like, and I think Ryan, you've probably seen the same thing come along with your work, and it's so encouraging and, you know, humbling really to see what people are delivering on next to no money and no budget. And we always used to do our films on nothing. And you know, I just think these people must have negative nothing, because they're so great. They're so great and so well delivered, and it's such a technical joy to watch. But also, there's art there, and it's, you know, that's what this is about for me. If someone can elicit art within 1 minute, you know, within, you know, not to diminish it, but a Halloween horror film competition, you go, it's not just a Halloween horror competition film. It's more than that, and I think that's what this did for me, really.
Yeah, agree.
And you mentioned like, you know, hopefully if they're doing this with no money, now they have $5,000 that they can hopefully put towards a longer short film.
But they do have to give some to me and Ben, though. So
you know. That was a count. I think we all get. Yeah,
right? Everyone's been bribed.
Well, everyone else as well. You get a bit more, a bit less, but you know, it's fine.
Yeah, I just so on that one, it's amazing to see something which inspires me as a filmmaker, and I see a lot of that from big multi-million-dollar movies, but to see something that someone is made within a short amount of time with such amazing, almost abstract ideas that feel both very familiar but also very unfamiliar at the same time, and the use of strong visual effects, but to tell a story and not to take over the story. And I think that shot where we see over the shoulder into the room from behind the girl, and she's doing a seance, whatever she's doing, like that stuff is just, you know, mind-blowing CG work. How they created that room and that scene and that setting, and repeat viewings. I just want to know more. I want to see the movie.
Yeah, and it's so brave, right? Because you know, sometimes you have to justify these things, and you know, when you don't, you do such wonderful things as such. It's just, you know, like, who cares? It's wonderful visuals, wonderful storytelling, and you know, it's deserves to win.
We have been absolutely blown away by the submissions this year, and I guess that's it for this year.
Well, let's not get carried away. We've got we are at the time here.
I don't know. I don't want to follow that one now.
I just want to say, you know, the amazing thing that you have all given back as judges is your experience and time, and incredible. Everyone on our community that hasn't watched this now is going to watch it over the coming weeks as well. And it's the insights are going to make them all better filmmakers, which is what they're here for in the first place. But we also have two other people that do that all the time, which is these guys here, who are our fabulous creators who, in their own time, not while at work, decided they were going to make an entry, which, you know,
we want to be a part of the nightmare.
Shouldn't be judged, because obviously you don't want to be harsh to these guys. They're right here. But we thought we might.
This is where Peter goes Simon Cowell.
Yes,
this is good. Bring it. But yeah, we'll show them back to back. I think you'll be able to guess whose is whose because they're in their own ones. But we'll show them, and maybe one or two little comments afterwards, and then we'll let everyone retire for the evening.
Sounds all right.
Cool. Fantastic.
That face was jacked up. You're hitting on like a trigger of mine, man. Like the teeth. It's like no.
I wanted to make people feel as uncomfortable as possible.
I was uncomfy.
I thought the reveal at the end was just going to be you had really clean teeth.
It's a Colgate commercial.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good.
What are the teeth props made from?
Oh, wait. Well, my parents, who are probably in the chat, are in the dental industry. So they gave me some false teeth. And yeah, they're the reason I have that fear. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
A perfect example of make what you have resources for. Teeth.
And
Javert.
Let's watch Javert's masterpiece.
Oh.
That maybe I've got to be here. Let's just watch Javert's one.
Boom.
Nice.
Whoa.
Back.
Cool. How did
Nice.
you do that? Well, how did you do the what did you use to do the virtual environment there?
That was Unreal Engine 5. So I filmed myself against green screen here in the studio, and then the background I built in Unreal.
Is that like, forgive me, but is that something that's quite accessible now, Unreal Engine 5? Is it something, because we've not sort of delved into that yet. Is that quite an accessible, affordable thing, or
free?
Yeah, it's completely free. It has the
Amazing.
Megascans library for all the textures and stuff and props, and yeah, it's really, really easy to use. That's why I picked it up.
Unreal's crazy, man.
Yeah, I think everyone here. I know Peter's looking working with this kind of stuff, and we love working with it, and we make apps for it and everything. But yeah, Javert doubled down with that example, and
yeah, man, that was great. It was like a badass like cutscene from a video game. You know what I mean?
And then there's the hand.
I felt like I was supposed to be like this, and some stuff's about to go down.
There's the hand from Titanic on the window. Just like.
No, I thought.
It's a love film.
Yeah,
I thought both films were really atmospheric, and both. Again, I think if you look across everything that we've seen this evening and these two pieces, it just shows that why horror is such a favorite genre of ours, because you can do so much with it, and you can do so much within such a short amount of time. And I continue to be impressed with what people are able to do, and how people are able to create unique scares where you think that we've seen everything, but I didn't think I would be seeing someone brushing their teeth out of their face tonight into a sink. So there
really is no end to it. Like I think I agree, Ben. That's what's so beautiful about the horror genre is it's always reinvented, and when they can't reinvent it properly, they remake it, and it's awful. But then it's still loved, so we watch it anyway. So I think that the horror genre is again, going back to bravery, it just gets stuck in, doesn't it, in terms of how we develop new ideas and how we just be brave to do some filmmaking stuff that's really fun, also scary. And I think we've always talked about horror being gruesome, but the best thing about the horror genre for us is it's just always been really, really entertaining, and it's always really fun to make, right? And I don't think there's anyone that we've come across in our time as filmmakers that have gone, oh, I really don't like making horror, it's awful. It's just fun to do. And
and we've been enjoying watching these submissions, and we're hoping, this is the second year now that we've done this competition. I'm hoping that we do it again next year and the year after that, with prizes getting bigger and better. And this time around we have the super cut. all the submissions are lined up. It's already rendered. It's ready to go, and that's coming out on Halloween as well.
Amazing. You've got to spare 3 or 4 hours. It's the way to spend it.
That's a long time.
That's everyone's submission. It's very good to watch.
Well, and we would love to welcome you all back next year to judge. I'm so glad that I didn't make an entry now, because after these it would have been really trash. So we can end on a high note rather than the bad one.
Next time we'll get you guys a submission as well.
Oh, I would love to. And Josh, you know what the bar is for next year, so now you can do something of your own, and you know, we know what the minimum is that you need to meet.
I can't reach this level.
Yeah, I'd love to make one as well, you know, because it's like there's some good competition there, and some amazing imaginative people, and so I'd love to. And also, you know, anybody who's got into the top 10 there, you know, I'd love to I mean, I'd love to find out how they did it, and like see if I could pass on any kind of, you know, any sort of tips or anything myself. I'd like to, just maybe like like do a 12-hour session with them. No, I don't really know what I mean. I mean, I'm just like super impressed, like that people have done this. As you said, it's on all a minimal gear, and like,
it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really super exciting. I love being a part of it. And you know what, Josh, what you and everybody there do is like, it means so much to so many people. It's such a cool company that you have, and you know what you give, the community you've created and nurture and help, and like it's you know, there's so many people already in the industry that you know that you've helped. You know, you've helped get there. It's like it's cool. So you know,
well, that's very kind of you. But I tell you what, next year, Peter, if you're free, I'll come and make it with you, because then I don't have to put a rubbish entry in.
That's unfair.
I'll take you up on the 12-hour
Judges
session
versus the world. How's about that? And you guys at FXhome can just sort your own talent.
Well, and I guess until next time. Now.
Until next time. I
can't wait. Amazing.
Happy Halloween. Have a safe Halloween, everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We on behalf of FXhome, and so we want to thank you guys for joining us tonight and judging through this. It means so much to us and our users for sure. And also, you know, guys watching this, thank you for your submissions and taking part in this competition. It has been fantastic seeing your work and seeing how creative you guys have been. We've enjoyed watching it. So
highlight of the year. Highlight of the year.
Absolutely.
But thank you, everybody, and good night, and enjoy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys.
Thanks, guys. Congrats, everyone.
See you.
Happy Halloween, jazz hands.